What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Talk It Out podcast. It is Talk It Out Tuesday. I am Adam. He is Stephen. We're back. It's Tuesday. We got a little bit. We got some things to talk about. I'm gonna get a little
already.
I'm gonna get a little fired up on our first topic tonight. I think because we'll get into that. But before we start, everybody, please, if you haven't already, go hit the like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the little bell. That way, when we release stuff, you guys won't miss it. But real quick too, if you'll see this on our thumbnail, Steven and I got a new sponsor. It's NV Streams. Shout out to them. If you guys don't know who they are, go look them up. Well, the website is it's on our. It'll be on the thumbnail, and actually, it's on. I think in my Twitter somewhere. But it's a streaming service. It kind of when I say you get every channel with it, you get every single channel, any kind of sports game, it's everything. If you find a game that's blacked out, you'll find it somewhere else. So I'm talking UFC, MLB when they decide to start NBA, NFL, out of market games. It's movies. There's like I don't know 50,000 on demand movies. It's insane, and
It's awesome.
It is awesome, and it's so cheap. It's so cheap. So if you guys are interested, get on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, they have a website. You can do that. You can fill out a referral form and use code Talk It Out and tell them Adam and Steven sent you. So again, much appreciation to MV Streams for helping the boys out here. So, all right, that's out of the way. It's Talk It Out Tuesday. How you doing, brother? By the way, I didn't ask how you were doing. I always do, but I'm going to ask you right now.
I'm good. I'm good. You know, we're not talking about some of it today, but you got the combine starting. You got my Colts with a ton of shit going on right now, trying to figure stuff out. So it's a fun time. 2 weeks till free agency in NFL for those who love it.
Yeah. Yep. We'll be hitting some NFL stuff here pretty soon. I got a feeling. I got a feeling.
Yes,
there's probably
going to happen.
There's going to be an episode directly related to Aaron Rodgers.
Well, between Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, we all kind of have our own people that we talk to, who I'm not going to call our insiders, but people who know more than we do.
Yeah. We're just two guys that like to talk about sports. By the way, the guy on Twitter that saw our video that I put out that called me fat and called Steven fat, you're a dickhead. Okay.
I didn't see that. That's hey, it wouldn't be the first, man. Ravens flock called me a fatty.
We know we're fat, okay? I'm trying to work on that.
I'm not. I'm husky.
I'm fat. So I get it. Thank you. Okay. Let's go, baby. We're gonna start with this. The MLB still locked out. Does anyone care? Okay. You're gonna have to listen to me for a minute or two. Okay.
Because I've not talked much today, so go ahead.
I'm gonna start with a couple of things. One, Manfred's the worst commissioner I've ever seen in Major League Baseball in the however the hell long I've been alive, almost 40 years. Horrible. Now, my whole thing with this, Steven, is if they potentially knew, right, that this was going to happen, why in the hell did they not get it done in like December? January, start doing it then in the off season. Why? So now we are at a point where we just found out that 2 series are going to be canceled at minimum. Now I hear things about starting in May. So that's 2 months. Well, I guess a month, really. If that happens, okay.
March and all of April.
Yeah, March and all of April. I got a couple of other, just one thing. I don't know who to blame, the owners, the players. After today, what I saw and I heard about they were only $25,000 off of what the league minimum was, and the players said no. You mean to tell me that your greedy asses won't just come down to $675,000 as the league minimum versus $700,000? They're greedy. At the beginning, I think it was the owners that I was blaming. Now I'm starting to think it's the damn players. And for me, who is an avid baseball fan, I mean, love it to death. It's probably my favorite sport. I'm from St. Louis. I'm a St. Louis Cardinals guy, and without envy streams, I couldn't watch them, but I can now. So thank you. It's so morally wrong. I mean, you guys make tons of money as it is. What's and I hate to say this, what's $25,000? But in retrospect, it's not that much freaking money when you're talking the amount that they're describing as 675 to 700. So that's one thing. Actually, that's about three things, but it just to me shows that the players are being greedy. And my whole point to this whole thing is I think it could have been avoided if they started this process earlier. Like, hey, if we knew it was going to be like this and had a chance at it, then let's go ahead and start in December. That way we're not. And another thing I hear, and this really chaps my ass, this is about the players. They don't start till May, right? They're going to play 100 and let's say around 140 games. They're going to miss 22 games. They want to be paid for 162. Like hell, if I'm an owner, I'm going to be like, hell no, I'm not paying you for 162 games. You didn't play 162 games. So it all boils, it's so crazy to me. We kind of talked about this before about how baseball supposedly was America's pastime. I still love the sport. I will wait for it to come back on to watch it if they do play. But I think hockey's going to pass them this year. I think hockey's going to draw bigger crowds. MLS is going to pass them. And you'll have other stuff. The NBA's, wrapping up their season and playoffs will start. And so baseball's in the shitter right now, Stephen. And they're not even playing. And they're not even close. That's the thing. We heard yesterday that they were close. They were on the 20-yard line, getting ready to score, punching in the end zone, right? Now they're on the 50, and they're not anywhere near it now. So my whole thing is I love the sport of baseball. I love Major League Baseball, guys. I do. And I don't want to shit on the league in general, but something's got to freaking happen here, man. It's got to happen. You've got to come to a happy medium to play baseball. You can't go like we did in, 94 and cancel the World Series. We can't do this again. I get it. Owners want to make money. They're greedy too. Owners want to make money. Players want to make money. But you know how these people make money? They make money by putting freaking fans in the stands. And they're not doing it. So that's my little 5-minute rant on. So does anybody care? For me, yes, I really do care. 100% care. But I'm flabbergasted. Blasphemy. So I'll turn it to you now. I don't care what you say. You're going to say it doesn't matter. I know.
No, it's not that it doesn't matter. They shit on people for too long. They've done it too much. They've lost too many fans. They don't care about the fans. That's what this is. While you were talking, I wanted to make sure I could say this. In the history of MLB, there has been 8 work stoppages. Name another sport where that's happened that much.
I can't.
8 work stoppages.
I can't.
It's 3 owner lockouts and 5 player strikes. 8. They don't care about the fans. The owners don't care about the fans. The players don't care about the fans at all. So do I care? Maybe. But does the average fan, they'll just turn on MLS. They'll just turn on NHL as they go down their second half of the seasons. MLB will continue to lose fans because they're greedy. They're self-centered. Okay, last night we heard, like you said, they were close. So MLB extended the deadline till 5 p.m. today. And then suddenly you're so far apart you can't get a deal done. You weren't close. You weren't close.
Yeah. Don't fill us with that BS. You weren't close. You weren't on the 20.
You were that far off. You weren't close. And then they said one of the trump cards that the players are holding is they want a 12-team playoff. The owners want a 14. It's kind of like in NFL. NFL wanted a 17-game season. The players knew that was the trump card to get what they wanted. And that's kind of where the players are sitting, okay? The
Mhm.
players have a ton of money. We talked about this last time. So they can sit.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they want to be paid for 162 games. I'm sorry, but if I take time and it's not paid time off, I'm not getting paid
Yeah.
for 10 days if I work 6.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
Yeah. You can't go on
So it's
vacation.
greedy. Oh my God.
You know,
I mean, the thing with it is in the end, baseball hasn't cared about the fans in years. They don't. It's you that should be angry because you're the fan.
yeah.
Whoever's watching this, if you like baseball, you're the fan, and
Yeah.
they don't care about you.
Yeah. Now,
They
can
care about just the money that's going into the bank and into their dollar. And we
Yeah.
talked about this last time. Don't cry poor to me if you're a billionaire owner of a franchise. Don't
Yeah.
cry poor to me.
Yeah. No, that's
Don't
not.
say that your revenue was on like I think the Braves made like $800 million last year
Mm.
or 400 somewhere around there. Don't cry poor to me. Don't do that.
You know what's sad about this too, Stephen? Guess who is playing?
The minors.
The Miners. So guess what? I will gladly watch a Nashville Sounds game.
Seriously, this is Rob Manfred right here. That's him announcing they're canceling games.
Yeah, with a shit.
That looks like he's giving the trophy out
Yeah.
for the World Series.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He is by far the worst.
He's the worst GM or the worst commissioner ever.
Of all the major sports. I won't go so far to say I think hockey will pass them. I think hockey is just very hockey's different.
It is
than anything else. But see, baseball's not even national anymore, man. Their TV contracts suck. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not paying extra for the MLB network. It's a regional sport. They care about turnstile. Who's going to the games? You got 162 games. If you're technically selling them out, that's where you're getting your money from.
Yeah.
Like, the Braves play on what is it? Bally Sports?
Yeah, Bally.
Marlins play on Bally
Cardinals.
Sports South?
So do the Cardinals. That's why I can't watch them.
In the end, does anybody care? The true fans do, but all baseball's doing is just sitting. It's like the person sitting there punching themselves in their own crotch. That's what they're doing. They're cutting their nose off to spite their face. And if what you say is true and it was that close on the deal,
I saw that.
Here's the other thing. I heard Jeff Passan talk about this. You can be angry at the players, and I think it's shifted to that this time. Most of the time, people don't side with the owners. But it is a great question. What the hell's with the arbitrary deadline of today?
Yeah.
What was with the deadline of today or yesterday? Why did you actually have to cancel games because of today? When opening day isn't for what, another month?
Yeah, well, it's usually like the last day of March, somewhere in there, last couple.
So you're talking at the end of this month. So why are you canceling games right now, 3 or 4 weeks before the game actually starts?
Well,
I know spring training, all that.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo. You could condense it. You could condense it, and you could have still had opening day. Why are you canceling games 3 weeks before you have to?
Yeah.
Why did you set an arbitrary deadline?
It's just sad, man, because you are right in a sense of the fans should be mad, and they 100% should be. They 100% should be mad. And it's a shame because I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched as much baseball in probably the past 3 years. And it's not because I don't love the game, because I do. One major reason is, like I said, I'm a Cardinals fan, and I can't even get the freaking Bally Sports channel network. I can't even get it. So, like, for instance, like the Memphis Grizzlies, who are our Tennessee team in the NBA, the Predators, who me and you live freaking 30 minutes from Nashville, and I can't even watch a freaking Predators game if it's a home game. I have to wait until they're on.
I have Bally.
I know you do, but it's just a shame, man, that it's come to this, and the fact that they waited for so long to even start the process about it. And if they knew there was a chance, they had to have known, right?
Well, here's a question for you. I'm gonna ask you a question. If you turn on ESPN Sports Center right now, is the lockout leading the stories, or is it the combine? It's combine.
It's the combine.
It shows
dude.
how little people care.
Yeah.
It's
It
to
does.
be expected. 8 work stoppages. 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
The owners of the players have refused to play or let the other play 8 times in the history of this sport. The NHL has had what, maybe 2? The NFL had one real one.
I'm
They
trying to
had a
remember the
scab
NHL.
season where they had a legit one. It was a scab season.
Yeah.
But one, and then they had the one where it got into the preseason a little, but they work it out.
Yeah.
It's dumbfounding that I agree with what they're saying too. If it lingers long, it will just do nothing but damage the sport even more.
That's the problem I have. That's the worry I have with it is, and like attest to what you said, is they're losing their fan base over this. They're losing their You're going to have the diehards, right? You're going to have the diehards that don't care. As soon as it starts, they're going to be there at home games watching it. I mean,
that's the Cardinals, the teams like that.
Know,
like they're always going to pack
the freaking
place.
Yankees, the Red Sox. All those. But for instance, that team that you're wearing on your head right now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Derek Jeter stepped down too. By the way,
they already don't sell out games.
How do you step down as an owner?
CEO. We won't get into that.
I know.
I don't know,
but
what happened. He came in, changed the logo, slightly improved the team to 1 playoff appearance.
I want to know,
and then he left.
I want to know from our listeners that, and throw them in the comments when we get this video up for you guys. I want to know what you guys feel about this. You know what I mean? I want to hear from other baseball fans what they think. And then we'll respond to them too. We'll respond to those comments. I want to see where if they're kind of where we're at or if they're not. So, all right, that's our spiel. That was way longer than I wanted to go on it, but it is what it is. It had to be said.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to our next topic here, guys. And I put a poll out. I don't know I think it was last night, and this was the exact poll: is John Morant a top 5 point guard? Actually, I put right now. So I want to hear Stephen's thoughts first.
So I can argue either way. We kind of looked up a list to try to get an idea to rep, because when you start talking about top 5 players, other players bleed in, right?
Mm-hmm.
From other positions. But kind of the mainstays that we pulled up a list, and kind of the mainstays on that list were Steph Curry, right? Damian Lillard, Trae Young, Chris Paul, and who was the last one?
Well, I think Ja was. We pulled a
Ja
couple.
Was 6.
Ja was 6 in one and 5 in the other one. Luka
Doncic. Yeah. Okay, Doncic. So if I'm looking at that list, I can't make him top 5. I can't overall. Okay, I can't put him in front of. Obviously, you can't put him in front of Steph Curry. I have Steph Curry as my MVP.
Yeah,
right now.
You did have that.
Okay, I can't put him in front of him. Damian Lillard, although he's not playing, in my mind, he's still a better player.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris Paul, due to his age, he's the closest one for me. He's the closest one I could boot out of the top 5.
That's not even that's not my closest one, because Chris Paul's done it for so long.
But what did I say? What did I say when I'm the best ability, to quote the immortal ex-GM of the Colts, Bill Polian, the best ability is availability. And Chris Paul does get hurt basically every year. Okay. And he's older. I could say Morant has passed him right now in this point in time. Not overall, not all time, but I could make that argument. I'm not going to put him above Luka. I think Luka is just insane. I think he's a smaller, more agile freaking Dirk. He's amazing. I wish my Magic had a chance to draft him, honestly. Trae Young is another one. The only issue I have with Trae Young is he's yet to really elevate the team. This year, he's not elevated the team. I think he's 29 and 32.
Yeah.
The Hawks are.
Yeah.
And Ja has definitely elevated his team.
Yeah.
But my argument would be right now, I think the thing with Ja is it's easy to get caught up in the moment and see the big dunks and to see the great plays and the 50-point games and you get lost on the other things that these other players that are doing great things too. I
Mhm.
don't think you can't be a slave to the moment. Like you it's tough. It is tough because it's like I can argue, but I joke with you, I can argue both sides. I can
Yeah.
argue out of both sides of my mouth on this. Okay. But if
Okay.
I'm going right now, I
Now.
don't have him in the top 5.
Okay. I'm
Convince
gonna
me.
go. I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna say yeah, he's in my top 5. And I'm not gonna
Who are
take
you
Chris
booting
Paul.
out?
I'm not taking Chris Paul out. I'm not taking Steph Curry out, and I am not taking Luca out. So that leaves 2
I know who you're
people
taking out.
really. Who am I taking out?
You're going to take out Trae Young.
I am going to take out Trae Young,
It's because
and
you hate Oklahoma.
I'm going to take Trae Young from.
Adam hates Atlanta.
No, I don't. I actually like Trae Young, dude. Honestly, he's a great player. My point goes to right now, right now, not overall. Right now, in this moment, John Morant has the Grizzlies. What did we say? What was it? 38-20 or something? I
No, they've
don't.
won 40 plus games.
42 and 18. I mean, it's something. I don't know if it's
They're
that good.
third in the Western
They're
Conference.
third in the Western Conference. We knew that. I don't remember what their record is. Sorry.
43-20.
43-20. So there you go. They're 23 games over 500. And like you said, Trae Young is a 9 seed right now, and we talked about this too. Name other superstars on their teams that on the Grizzlies or the Hawks. You can't, right?
We'll wait.
Well, yeah, we'll wait. I mean, you can name players. But most teams have more than one. They have a superstar and then they have really good players, right? And now even Portland, I don't know because since CJ McCollum, and that's something to look at too with Damian Lillard. Like right now, he can't be considered top 5 because he's not even playing. But how's he going to react when without CJ, in there to help him? Because that was a lethal backcourt, dude. Honestly, with CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, that was lethal. If the Grizzlies could get some help for Ja, he's doing. I mean, he's doing a lot of this by himself. Elevating his team, and he made the playoffs last year. I can't remember what we figured out if they got bounced first round. I think they did. I think they got bounced
Well,
the
and
first
something to
round.
remember with the Grizzlies too. I heard it when they were talking on the radio today when they were talking about the Grizzlies. I believe they're the 3rd youngest team in the NBA. Like they're
Yeah,
super young. Let's not forget what is it? JJJ, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
He's
Yeah.
amazing when he plays. Like,
Yeah.
let's not short the talent that
Yeah.
Memphis has been able to acquire. It's
Dylan
just
Brooks.
Ja is leading them.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is a good player.
Dylan Brooks is a good player. Steven Adams has been a great addition for them.
Yeah, he is.
Like they are.
So
It takes more. I will say in the NBA, it does take more than one superstar on the team. You have to have decent players. I mean, but if you're going to talk like that too, like Steph Curry has Draymond Green,
Klay
Thompson.
Yeah.
Then you look around. Chris
Wiggins.
Paul has Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. Miles
Right?
Bridges.
Trae Young. Name me someone else for Trae Young. Like we said
Capella.
that. I don't even know if he's on the team anymore.
I don't either, dude.
I don't even know.
I don't either.
So I mean, they're really bad. They're not great this year, but he's up there. I mean, and Damian Lillard. Name me another player besides CJ McCollum, who's no longer on the team.
I don't know who's on Portland
And
anymore.
he's so dead set that he's not leaving Portland. That's the interesting thing for me.
Yeah, build around him. They want to build around him. But my thing with Ja is one, he is so exciting to watch, dude. His highlight film, like if they have a game, he's on Sports Center. He has done something ridiculous, whether it's a dunk or it's a flashy pass or, like last night he dropped 52, and posterized somebody from San Antonio. But I think at the level he's playing right now, and where their teams sit right now, I bumped Trae Young to 6. Actually, I bumped Trae Young to 5. I put Ja at 4, and I take Dame out just because Dame's not playing right now.
Now, here's a fun question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is just a long term. Ja's in his 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ja stay in Memphis?
Oh man.
That's a fun future
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Does Ja stay in Memphis?
Uh.
Is he a small guy? Does he want to play for the small team, or is he
Well.
cut from the ilk of who we're going to talk about next and constantly jumping teams?
I.
Does he seek the bigger spotlight that Memphis will not provide?
Well.
Because as great as Memphis is,
Yep.
as great as they can be, and they've shown but look at the talent that has been there and has left.
Yeah.
Conley Jr. gone, Mark
Yeah.
Gasol gone, Paul Gasol gone.
Mhm.
They don't retain the talent. Can they retain Ja? I think it's set up better to do it because of the fact that they can max deal him and it's the most money he can possibly make.
Yeah.
But I think it truly all depends on this year and next year and how they do.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Ja too. If you guys don't know a lot about him, he was not recruited at all out of high school. He was found
Well, he
in a gym.
was
He was, but not.
very, very lightly.
He was found in a gym playing pickup ball by Murray State's. I can't remember who it was. If it was a
Okay, I
coach.
wanted to spell the rumor.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you
Okay,
speak.
so and I've talked to Adam about this. Okay, so there is an aura and a mythology to Ja Morant at this point that he was playing,
Pickup ball.
like at some point it's going to be he was playing barefoot on a freaking mud court behind
In
a
Brazil.
rec center. In actuality, he wasn't technically playing a pickup game. He was in the tournament. The thing is obviously when they do these big AAU tournaments, you have the teams that everyone wants to see, like Bronny's team,
Yeah.
right? LaMelo Ball's team.
Yeah.
They're in the front courts, the big courts. He was on a team that was in the back courts. And yes, you are correct, though. It is true. Murray State was not there to look at him.
Mm-mm.
And they just happened upon him in one of the back rooms in one of the games.
Yeah.
Found him. And I'm sure he was recruited by a couple other people late, kind of once Murray State did. But honestly, too, let's be real, too. What was he? He was a sophomore when he came out, right?
Yeah. Was he a one and done?
Was he a sophomore or was he a junior? I don't think he was one and done.
You have to
correct
be.
us if we're wrong.
You have to You have to play 3 years though, don't you, in basketball?
Yeah, yeah. So he was a junior.
Either
so
a redshirt sophomore,
really
or junior.
Burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
So even his junior year.
Yeah.
Where suddenly he was the big dude, the guy everyone was looking at. So I mean, if you redrafted, he goes number 1 every day and twice on Sunday at this point. I still kick myself that my Magic weren't bad enough to get up high enough to get him, to get enough balls in the little freaking bouncy thing.
Into the lottery.
I told you I kicked myself like Trae Young, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant. They were never up high enough to get any of those guys, so they just continue to be horrible.
So for me, I think he stays. I hope he stays because obviously it's the team that I root for. I think obviously he played at a small college. My son, funny story about him, not just real quick, obviously Stephen knows this, but my son went to UT Martin, which is not very far from Murray State. Murray State came down to play UT Martin. I'm wanting to say it was his freshman or sophomore, maybe sophomore year in college, my son's. And he texted me and he said, "Dad, this guy is going to be a stud in the NBA. Mark my words." And he said it was John. I was like, "Well, what's his name?" He's like, "John Morant." He's like, "Look him up." And I'm like, "Okay." And obviously, truth be told, the guy was the number 2 pick. Probably, like you said, should have been.
It's fun to have those stories. Everyone knows. Yeah. Everyone at this point who's listened to any podcast we've done knows mine is I got to see Steph Curry play because I went to UTC and at the time Davidson was in the conference, and I'd be lying if I said I knew he was going to be fantastic. So I mean, you're looking at some kid who looks like a string bean who's running up there. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see
shooter of all time. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. John Morant top 5 or not. So we're gonna move on, and what we got? Oh, Stephen decided to come up with this topic, and I'm gonna let him talk a little more on this.
It's Big Baby Bron.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Like I have said that I respect LeBron James, and statistically, he will go down as the greatest player. Dude is probably also will go down as the pettiest player to ever play in the NBA. The pettiest.
Shit, I
You're
can hear the
talking his
comments coming.
memes, his subtle shots on social media towards people, his backdooring of different players. So the backstory behind this is one, it's his. If you're asking me who's to blame for the Lakers, I put a massive onus on LeBron James because he built the team. Rob Pelinka is the GM in title alone. I'm sorry. Reports even came out that LeBron has more power inside the Lakers organization than Kobe Bryant ever did. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. So he has more power. So he built this team. I don't think Rob Pelinka is going, what do we need? We need a Russell Westbrook who is 2 years removed from his prime. We need a Carmelo Anthony who no one wanted 2 years ago and came off the bench with Portland. Okay. They do all these things. So it's his fault. It's a huge chunk of his fault. Okay. So they get throttled the other day by the New Orleans Pelicans. And, let's be honest. Remember, this is the Pelicans. This is not, the Golden State Warriors. This is the Pelicans. And Zion's not playing. CJ McCollum, I think he did play. Pelicans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inside, I'm not going to call it by the Staples Center. I don't even know what the new name is because it's stupid. It's the Staples Center. But inside the Staples Center. So LeBron, the team is booed. Okay. And all these people on the national media, like Stephen A. Smith, like, you should never boo LeBron. Yes, boo him. Boo that man. Okay, because they didn't show up and it was a mockery. Jason Williams talked about it on Get Up and showed where it was just loafing, not getting, and it came from LeBron too. Okay, so they get blown out. Two things. First of all, LeBron and numerous players chirp back at the LA Laker fans, telling them they don't know anything besides seeing the ball go in the hoop. It's a bad look, man. It's a bad look to chirp back at your own fans. If you were on the road in New Orleans and you chirp at the fan, we all know LeBron got what was her name? Courtside Karen kicked out down in Atlanta. That's okay. Like you heard what she said, stuff like that. But it's your own fans. And then to top it off, when they get booed, what does LeBron do? What does he do?
He walked off the court. I know.
Early. He left the court early. He is the worst sport. And I know what people will say, show me a good loser and I show you a loser. But come on, man. Like, he's LeBron James. He's 17 years in.
There's more than that. I think he's 19 years in.
Whatever it is. Like, dude, it's you know what it reminds me of? Like, and if we're going to say Big Baby Bron, let's go back to his first year in LA. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt. He's on the freaking bench with a bottle of wine. Everyone remembers that he had like in a weird little bottle and he was drinking wine. In my opinion, and I know this is going to go off the rails for a second, his time in the Lakers has been an utter failure. You can say, yes, he won the bubble, but you talk to enough people. Come on, man. I mean, like, they took like 4 months off in the middle of the season. It's a geriatric team. They got to be rejuvenated, and they beat a Heat team that had to they had to play the play-in game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they played longer. It's frustrating because he's the best player statistically. Everyone looks up to him, and he's just a horrible role model in regards to his sportsmanship. Because let's also not forget, you talk about Big Baby Bro. He totally stiffed some dude on the 75th team for a handshake. You know what I mean? Like, he's very petty, and but he's always been a bad sport. And like I said, I know that, and I'm going on a rant, but I know people will say, like I said, show me a good loser. I still show you a loser. There's a difference, though, between being a good loser and being accepting of losing. It's being a good sport, respecting your opponent. And for him, he's done this several times this year.
Yeah.
Where he's walked off the court early. It's frustrating. He's a big baby.
I'm going to say one quick thing because I let you have your rant on this because I wasn't going to say much. I had my rant during the MLB part. When LeBron James is on the court playing, like not standing there waiting on a free throw, when he's in the game, I respect his basketball game so much. What he can do on a court. I do. What that man can do and what he has done consecutively for as long as he has is nothing short of amazing, honestly. I mean, for him to be 38 years old and averaging 29 points a game, it's insane. Now, who else do they have on their team to score? AD's hurt. He's always hurt now, too. Who do they have to score? Westbrook couldn't hit, my house from my driveway. Like you said, Melo, all that. I agree with you in a couple of things. I think he is a little petty, selfish, kind of, I agree with you on statistically, and we've talked about this. Statistically, he's probably the best. Statistically, we both think Jordan's the GOAT of all time, but if you go by stats,
Saying that too, let's never forget that LeBron James, when he won the title in LA, said, "I think the conversation's over for the GOAT."
Yeah. Steven's throwing his mic now. So I'll agree with you, man. I'll agree. Snapping back at your own fans, that's definitely not a good look. That's definitely not. If it was, it would have been different if it was like they were in New Orleans and he was spitting off to them. That's different because that's going to happen. You're going to have haters everywhere you go. But yeah, and then the walking off the court, that's just, I mean, it's just disrespectful, honestly. But people are going to, this is the thing about LeBron James, Steven. People are going to overlook all of that other BS because he's one of the greatest. He's the greatest player on the planet right now, playing in a lot of people's eyes. And people are going to overlook all that other little, BS that isn't so little to some people. Obviously, because you wanted to rant about it for 10 minutes. So, but I agree with you. I do agree with you. I wanted you to have your time though, and I wasn't going to overstep it. But I do agree with some of that stuff, man. Like I said, it can't, all that other stuff, and it, if it doesn't translate off the court onto the court, I mean, let's not be real too. Off the court, there's some things we won't get into, but off the court too, it's just
you could even go back to his first stay in Cleveland, and part of the reason he left too was Dan Gilbert saying they were tired of letting his friends on the plane and him having a different set of rules.
Yeah.
We've said too, anytime, I mean, my problem has always been, we joked and said, anytime you name yourself king when you're in high school, dude, you better be good. And he is. He is.
Mm-hmm.
But man, oh man, if he's not the typical athlete of today, where he doesn't it's not behind closed doors.
Yeah.
He airs it very publicly, that he's unhappy. And I'll tell you what, it's going to cost Pelinka, it's going to cost Vogel, it's going to cost them all their jobs this year because they're not making the playoffs. And that would be, he's been there, this would be his fourth year?
Fourth? I think so.
Third year? First year he was hurt, no playoffs. Second year they won the title, right?
Yeah.
And third year is this year.
No, they got bounced in the first round last year, didn't they?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it is. I think this is his fourth year. This is fourth season.
2 out of 4. He's not even in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion.
We don't
go down this road.
We don't need this will come at the end of the NBA season because we'll see what happens. I get your point though.
In the end, for somebody who just watches the game, so it's not a good look. It looks petty, and he's always kind of done that. He really has. As great as he is,
let me ask you this: if it was anybody other than LeBron James, let's say, I don't know. I was trying to think of a lesser talent, and I hate saying that because if you play in the NBA, you are talented. I don't care who you are. But let's say it was, not LeBron James. Let's say Russell Westbrook. He gets a bad rap, right? Would people care as much about how petty Russell Westbrook would be? And
absolutely.
You think so?
Russell Westbrook got in trouble for cursing out a fan who threatened to kill him.
I didn't want to use Russell Westbrook. I'm just talking. If it wasn't LeBron James,
Cole Anthony plays for my Orlando Magic. If he walked off the court, the Magic would probably fine him.
Would it get as much attention though?
No.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, that's the burden of being King James and the generational talent that you are. You get more attention.
Yeah, that's true.
So do the right thing and stay on
True.
the damn court.
Yeah. Okay. Wrap us up, brother.
So, it's been a frustrating thing. Make sure you guys that you like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you to everyone who subscribed today. It was actually a really big day of subscribing.
Yep.
Remember that once we hit 250, I told Adam I would stop saying he's giving away Super Bowl tickets.
I'm gonna
away
switch
Super Bowl tickets.
I'm gonna switch it though. I said a jersey. I think a jersey needs to be a little bit more on our subscriber list. So I'm gonna do like a gift thing, like a hat and a t-shirt and something, I think. So
It's 250.
Yep.
That's when we reach 250. I want to see more comments. We joked who won the arguments, who did you side with? Like, that's always fun. Want to see that in the comments. Keep it coming. Keep the subscriptions, the liking, the sharing. Here's the other thing too, is like I joke with Adam. I love subscribers. I want you guys to watch it. Don't just subscribe. Tell a friend that you like it. Watch the episodes. Tell us what you don't like. Feedback is important when we do these kind of things. We've talked a ton of NBA. Is there a topic you want?
Yeah,
we may do a day where on a Monday, Adam may because he has way more followers than I do. I'm just the pretty face and the voice.
Shit.
But I'm just the talent. I just show up and I do my thing.
Okay.
But he may put it out there and say, what do you guys want to hear us talk about today?
Mm-hmm.
And respond. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. But in the end, with this whole thing, we say it every week. Whether you like our take, if you hate my take on LeBron, that's fine. Tell me why in the comments. We'll talk. I got no problem with it. If you love our takes, that's great too. The important thing that we always talk about on this one is that me and Adam, we meet at the mic and we talk it out. We'll talk to you guys later.